We are back on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio, News Talk 1180, 1230 KGEO, and 1410 KERI. Our guest by phone, 32nd Assembly candidate Pedro Rios.
You know, Pedro, it's interesting. I met Rudy Salas probably a couple of years ago, and I was really impressed with the young guy. And he's really moving forward, but he really doesn't have a lot of experience in the political arena. And when I look at your background, you don't have really a lot of experience in the political arena either. So why would someone want to vote for Pedro Rios, other than being a Republican, over Rudy Salas?
You know, well, I think there are vast differences. You know, I served 8 years in the military. I spent 14 successful years as an educator, both as a teacher and a school administrator. I've been in farming. I've owned small businesses. So I've been in the trenches, and I served 8 years in the Delano City Council as opposed to Rudy's maybe 2 years in the Bakersfield City Council. So I think that there are vast differences. You know, I've been in the trenches. I know what it takes out there to you know, I've gone from being poor, having lots of money, to overnight when I did some of my investments in farming. And I think it's that connection that I have, those experiences that really help me connect to the people. And when I go up there, I want to be a fighter and represent the people that elect me. I just don't want to go up there and fall into the big interests of Sacramento. And so I think that there are vast differences that separate Rudy and myself.
You know, I've heard a lot of negative advertisements about you. Do you want to respond to any of those?
We've been asked, and we have responded. You know, we've had various radio interviews, the California interviewers, and just people out on the street. And obviously, throughout the years here, I went to school at Cal State Bakersfield. I was a teacher at Wasco High. I was a teacher and a vice principal there in the Early March School District. And so there is a lot of people know my background, you know, and so these ads are not having a negative impact. As I walk the district, I hear people telling me, carry on, Pedro, stay focused. And that's what we're doing, you know. If I look at the primary, look what everybody was saying. Pedro cannot win. Pedro cannot win. Pedro does not have the money. He does not have the name ID. And look what happened. So out of that experience, I've already learned that my job is to stay focused. My job is to believe in God, is to have faith, and to work very hard. And there's no doubt that come November the 6th, we are going to be successful. Just like I was in the primary, we're going to win come November the 6th. And the fact that Rudy is attacking me, that shows me that they're scared. That shows me that they do fear me, and that they know that we have punching power. And let it be known that we do have punching power, and we're going to keep moving forward. And again, come November the 6th, we're going to win.
Rudy, wow, Rudy. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you, Pedro.
I want you to know, Pedro, that was Clay, not me.
Oh, okay.
Pedro, what branch of the service were you in?
I serve in the California Army National Guard.
And you were in active duty for what, 6 months or a year?
Yeah, about a year.
And then six.
And I was also awarded the Army Achievement Medal Award. I attended officer candidate school. I went through the entire program, but just a few months before actually finishing up the program, I decided that it was time for me to carry on and do other things in life, and that's why I chose to finally exit the military. And I was honorably discharged from the Guard.
Well, you sounds like you're on the middle of the freeway out there.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm going to try to pull away here into the field. Sorry about that.
So what are you doing, walking precincts today?
We actually, what we do is we're walking the entire district. We're going to put in over 200 miles. We started in the northern part, and we're going to end up at the southern part, which is Arvin. And on our way through, we've been working with folks here, talking to people. And this is more of a straight shot. You know, it's actually putting 10 miles daily and covering ground. Then we'll come back and we'll actually do the painting walking.
You know,
door to door.
One of the things you're going to be fighting in this election, and I hope you're able to work with it, is the unions. They're very strong in favor of Rudy.
Yes, that's correct. Rudy has all the support of the unions, and obviously they have a lot of money. But I think that, you know, we also have a lot of support just from regular folks, farmers, people from all walks of life. And in the end, I believe that we will succeed. People are not too happy and motivated with unions right now. So, I mean, there are pros and cons, but I believe that the path that I'm taking is the right path, and that in the end we will succeed.
Our guest by phone, 32nd Assembly candidate Pedro Rios.
You know, Pedro, I hope that Rudy will take the time to come on the show because I'd like to hear his side of the issues as well as yours. I want to wish both of you success in whatever you do. But one of the things that sort of irritates me about candidates is they have a current position in the government, and then they go and run for something else. And I think they should give up the position they're in if they want to run for another position. What's your feeling on that?
I think that's correct because to some extent, you know, it may be that you're double dipping. What they call, you know, is you're actually using. You know, but obviously there's a lot of, and historically the situation even with the president right now. So that would be something for the people to decide, not for me to bring that into judgment. Let the people decide on that.
You know, Pedro, one thing I just wanted to comment on something you had said. We had Bruce Hershenson as a guest last week. Excuse me, and you may not remember him. It's probably before your time, but he was a senatorial candidate 20 years ago against Barbara Boxer, and he was the victim of some very, very dirty politics. And I'm seeing politics getting more and more dirty, and the campaigns getting worse and worse. When it looks like somebody's getting close to an opponent, then all of a sudden people get dirty. Do you see that happening more and more as it is in your campaign?
Yeah, well, you know, I was told by my good friend Danny Gilmore, you know, he went through it. He told me his experience. He says there was a time when, you know, even he came to very close to just, you know, crying, literally crying. And he warned me that, you know, there are days when you feel up and days when you feel in the pit. But, you know, I was told that this is going to get dirty. We know it's going to get nasty. But again, to be quite truthful with you, Clay and Marty, I have a lot of faith in God. And I use the primary as an example. You know, I mean, I had all the odds against me, all the powers against me. The Republican Party was against me. They had endorsed John. And we overcame. And I think that's what gives me strength each day. The fact that I do look to a superior power, knowing that there is a God. And let all the attacks come against me. But I feel that in the end, I will succeed. And I have that hope. And I've always lived in that hope since day one when I started this. And we know it's going to get nasty. You know, there'll be more bombs coming. But in the end, we will be victorious. I have no doubt in my heart.
Now, you work off of donations, so if someone wanted to make a donation to your campaign, how would they do that?
They can either go on my website, which is www.pedrorios.org, and they can actually donate there, or they can also call me directly, and which is my number is 661-474-1178, and you know they can mail the donation to, which is P.O. Box 194, Delano, California 93216.
Now that's
P.O. Box 1934.
1934. That phone number you gave is actually a direct phone number to your cell phone, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct.
So if someone wants to talk to you, they can just call that number and talk to you directly.
Yeah, they can just call me direct. You know, we don't. I don't want to fall into this game of bureaucracy, thinking that we're all too good now to be a. I want to make myself accessible to the people.
You know, Pedro, my hat's off to you. I picked up on that too. That's your cell phone. So I admire that. I hope it doesn't come back and bite you a little bit. I have a question for you on education, because you are an educator, and to be honest with you, my first love is history. I wanted to be a history teacher way back when, but unfortunately my life took a different direction. But I have a question for you on education. Have you seen Waiting for Superman?
No, I have not. I have not. Which is that a recent movie?
Well, that's the movie that talks about one of the examples they give is New York, where they've got these teachers that they can't do anything with. They can't fire them. They can't term them out. So they're sitting in this building just waiting to retire because they can't do anything.
Yeah.
So what do you feel about the teachers union? What can we do? Is there anything we can do?
It's interesting that you mentioned that. You know, yesterday I was in Shafter. It was it's called the North Current Christian School. And it's a small school, and I was talking to some of the parents. I was talking to some of the administrators there. And, the sad thing is that parents have got to pay out of their own pocket. It's an excellent school, excellent education that the students are getting. But yet, because they are being run independently from the public school systems, they do not receive any assistance from the California government. And I believe, just like in business, right? When there's competition, when you have other schools that are being opened, for example, we have the Paramount Bard Academy there, which is doing great. Down in Arvin, we have the Grimway Charter Schools, and, we have different folks that are taking the initiatives to open up schools, and these schools are succeeding. They're providing other forms of education. They're providing music, arts, programs that have been eliminated from the regular schools because of
Pedro,
funding.
I hate to cut you up, but unfortunately, I'm just getting the signal that we're running out of time.
Okay.
We would love to have you come back, though, before the election.
Please. Thank you so much, Clay and Marty. God bless.
And
God bless.
Don't forget, September 21st at the Petroleum Club, Pedro and Rudy will be going against each other.
Okay. And thank you. We'll see you in 167 hours on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio, News Talk, 1180.